What's up, my loves and fellow creatives? I'm ready to show you template number 261. This looks very complicated, but it is a super simple template. You'll be able to flip this in 5 minutes as long as you have a photo and a logo. So if you have a photo and a logo, we're going to be able to change the colors, change out the photo, and change out the text. And let's go ahead and get into it. The first thing I want to do is change the logo. So I'm going to right click here on the logo. And I'm going to go to where it says Accent 1 Mascot Logo. Double click on the thumbnail. And then here you're going to do File, Place Embedded. And you're going to find your image. So I suggest that you put it inside of your 261 folder. I'm going to give you a whole bunch of images that you can use, from photos to logos and mascots with the backgrounds already removed. However, I want you to keep in mind that if you do have a project you need to work on, you can go ahead and bring a photo that has the background already removed and bring a logo that has the background already removed. So we're going to go ahead and choose this jaguar here. I can pull on the nodes at the top and bottom to stretch it out just a little bit more. Hit enter to lock in the transformation on my keyboard. And then I'm going to hide the eyeballs. I'm going to turn the eyeball off of the bulldog mascot. Now, as soon as I close, I'm going to hit yes to save, and it's going to update that wherever I use the logo. And we're going to use this logo as an excuse to grab some colors here. And I am trying to move a function off of the screen. It is not moving. Always something. All right, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. The way that I do that is by doing Control+ on the keyboard here. All right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pick some colors from this mascot here. So I'm going to choose the eyedropper tool, also is a color picker tool, and I'm going to go grab that teal color right there. And you'll notice that it puts a temporary swatch right here at the top. Then I'm going to go grab the yellow color. I want a little bit deeper gold. And if I need to get in there a little bit more, I can Control+ a couple more times and zoom in. I'm going to grab me a good old gold right about there. Okay, and now I see my standard gold here in my teal color. I'm going to go ahead and change out the entire project colors. And if you scroll all the way to the top, I usually keep your smart colors right up there. So color number 1 is the primary color of the school. We're going to duplicate this layer. Just say OK. And then we can tap on the teal color that we already picked. Hit yes to save when we close out. And it's going to update everywhere that it had royal blue. It should now be teal. Super easy. And then we're going to double click on color number 2. Choose our bright gold. Actually, I apologize. I want to duplicate that layer and then change the colors. And that way you have both variations. Let's go ahead and hit yes to save. Close that out. All right, so this is about 50% of the work done right here, right now. This is the reason why we make our templates super smart. We call them genius even. All right, let's go ahead and click on the photo now. So I'm right clicking on the photo. I see photo 1, and then I'm going to double click on the thumbnail here, and I'm going to go to File, Place Embedded. And I'm going to find the, the photo of my basketball player here. Now you can do a graduate, you can do sports images, band images, cheer images, anything you can think of to celebrate that senior, but this could be used for way more than just graduation. I'm going to go ahead and turn the eyeball off of the original image here. Close that out and hit yes to save. All right, my image is there, beautiful. And I probably want to change the name from first name, last name to something like the person's name. So I'm going to right click on the word first name. Excuse me, y'all. Let me go ahead and duplicate that layer. It'll just name it first name until you double click on the T And then you can type out the name that you want. Here, her name is Soraya. So I'm going to type, double click here and type Soraya. All right, then I can turn off the eyeball of the first name there. And you see Soraya is a significantly shorter name than first name. So we may need to stretch it out. I'm going to leave it just like this, but I'm going to move my graduation cap. And then for last name here, we'll go to where it has last name. I'm going to duplicate because I want to keep the word last name there, just because I'm going to be using this as a sample, and I always put first name, last name on my samples. All right, so I'm going to keep the last name there. I'm going to turn off the eyeball of the previous one, double click on the T here, and her last name is Williams. We'll go ahead and type that in. And if you want to see what it looks like, go up to character. If you don't want to do all caps, you can take off the all caps there, and then you can do capitalize your first letter there. I just happen to like this specific font and style with the all caps there. So you do not have to type in all caps in Photoshop. That's a tip right there. Now it appears that my graduation cap, where it says first name cap, I'm going to click on that. I can turn it off if I don't like it at all, or I can move it like I want to. So because I'm keeping that one there for you all, I'm just going to duplicate this one. All right, and then I'm going to move it first. It fits. If it did not fit, then I can use the little corners here to make it bigger or smaller, depending on how I wanted it to look like it fit on top of the letter there, but that looks pretty good right there. The reason why I left this one here is so that you'll have it on the word first name and you'll remember to move it. Now, there's something special about this graduation cap. You can change the color of the tassel. So all you have to do is, I'm going to get rid of all these extra colors so it doesn't confuse you. You can take this color here and just pick some color fill this layer, and just pick up the teal that I had before, or you can pick the gold. Now, if the color looks too light or too dark, try out changing the levels here. So this has no levels adjustment. This one says lighter, this one says darker. So depending on the type of color you choose, one of those may work. And if it doesn't fit what you want, double click on the levels itself and just adjust this little middle station until you get the color that you want. And I like that right there. So I'm going to let the tassel be gold and hit yes to save. All right, and we'll see that it changes the tassel here on the top of class of and the tassel on the first name. And really and truly, that is it, my love. So if you wanted to change class of 2024, you could do that the same exact way by going to 2024, double clicking on the T. And maybe you use this template for 10 years ago and you need to change this to 2034. And if that's the case, you just pop in your new number there or retype the entire number. Or if you want to do a word going down, you can do that as well. Okay. And then the same thing is true for this senior in the back. It's not just an image. It is actually a font that you will have installed. You can double click here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate the layer. And instead of senior, I'm going to do this one. I'll just put baller. Okay, because maybe it's not about graduation. That's what I was trying to tell you. You can do a whole nother look. So then I could take my graduation caps off. And she can be a baller of 2024 without being a class of 2024. So I'm just going to the things that I want to turn off and I'm just turning them off. Okay, so she's a baller. And then this might be the season, the 2024 season. And instead of congratulations, you can change that out. Now, I do want to show you that there is a flat text at the top, as well as, and you can move this around, as well as an arch text. And if you want to change the amount of that arch, you can double click on the T and click on this little T at the top, which is for warp text. And then I can change the amount of my arch. I really don't like it extreme. Usually I keep it around 30 to 38, depending on how long the word is. And you do whatever floats your boat or finds your lost remote. Okay. Now here, same thing goes if I want to change out the text. I'll just double click. And maybe I'll put the high school name. Okay, so your town high. And it's no longer a senior or class of template, but it works just fine. I want you to imagine you could use this for birthday parties, even anniversaries, graduation celebrations, almost any design you can think of. This gives it a really unique, kind of grungy flair to it. And it's perfect for almost any occasion. Now I will go ahead and show you how you make this. This is pretty much an all over design, just meaning that we have all of these elements out here. You can also preview it as more of a 13 by 19 style design by clicking on this layer mask. If you want to see it without the layer mask, you just hit disable the layer mask. And this thing is ready to go. So I'm going to change it back to a senior design because we're going to be mocking this up on some senior products. So I'll go back to where it says baller. And you know what? Let me go ahead and save this. So I'm going to right click on 261, quick export as PNG, just so that I have what this looks like as a baller design. And because I have it saved once, I'm just going to put a -3 at the end. And I will show you how to save these individual elements so that you could use them in the Automizer or in other things, like you can use them in Canva once you export the PNGs. So the entire all over graphic is a pretty big graphic. It may take your computer some time to do that, but what I like to do is I like to get the foreground. I'm going to show you all the pieces that I get. So I get the full image here. Then I'll go ahead and make it a 13 by 19 style design. Quick export as PNG. And I'm going to do the -13 by 19, 13x19. And then I'll put a 3 at the end because this is an alternate design. So I'm going to show you all the components that I usually pull from my graphics. So once you pull these components, you'll be able to use these little individual pieces to create different layouts with the same graphics. So we already have our foreground. Now I'm going to grab the background here. You can grab the background with the layer mask. And I usually will save that as background -13 by 19. And this will make sense when I show you how to design with it later on, so that you can design one time and you can have infinite products that you can use all of these pieces for. All right, now I'm going to disable the layer mask so I can have that full background here, and I will quick export that as PNG. All right, and now what I'll do is I'll go and at the top here, I have my photo. We didn't use a photo too. If you did happen to use a photo too, then you could export that as well, but we just used photo number 1. So I'm going to quick export that as PNG. And my quick way to do this is just to go photo 1, accent 2, and accent 1. Take the top one, hold down shift, grab that bottom one so it selects all 3. And then I'm going to quick export as PNG. And it will export all 3 of those images at one time. All right, now if there's some other stuff that I want to get, like the word baller, I like the mirror for the word baller. So I'm going to go to my mirror text where it says senior. Of course, it's not senior. Quick export that as PNG, and this one's going to be baller. All right, and those are all the pieces that you would need to export. Now, when you get really good, you can flip this thing in pretty much less than 5 minutes. And I'm going to do that right now. If I stop talking, I think I can get it done. So let me go ahead and start off with the logo like we talked about and get it going. So double click on the logo, file, place embedded. Let's go ahead and find us a logo here. I'll go with the purple panther. Go ahead and close out of this. Now, I do see my mascot is a little shifted. Oh, there it is. It's not. It had those whiskers over there that I don't want to cut off. You can barely see them. So I'm just going to close that out. Say yes to save the changes. Now I have a purple there. I'm going to go ahead and select. So for this one, I'm going to choose the purple. I'm going to leave the gold. So let me use my color picker. Pick that purple there. So color number 1 is now going to be purple. So I'm going to duplicate the layer. Go over here to my swatches, pick up my purple, and close this out. Hit yes to save. And this one, instead of doing a photo, I'm going to do a mascot. So I'm going to go to my photo 1 right here, double click, do file, place embedded. And I think I have a panther somewhere in here. There he is, playing basketball. I'll make it as wide as possible, but do not let it hang off the edge here. All right, we'll go ahead and say yes to save those changes. All right. I'm going to increase the size here of my photo. I want it to be a little bit more popping than that. So let's pull it up here. And another thing I want you to pay attention to is that there are these little abstract swirly lines on here. And if any of it seems like it's getting in your way, right click on it, go to the paint grunge layers. There's a layer mask on here. You can go ahead and use the paint brush tool here to paint black where you want to conceal that. And then you can paint white. Maybe you want to bring it back here, but you want it to be off of his face. And that's typically what I do. I don't like to cover up people's faces, so I'll clear up that particular element when it's on top of their face. All right, so now we have a baller 2024. We can change out the name, the text at the top, and the colors. But let's say if you were doing this for several different seniors, then you're pretty much done. You just would have to change out the name here. So again, I'm going to go with my first name and last name here. Instead of Williams, I'm going to put my last name back here for you all. There we are. And we're going to turn this back to, we'll save this one as a baller, because that way you see it as something other than a senior design. And of course, we can also change out this text here. I'll keep the 2024, duplicate it. Now this text goes vertical. And maybe this one is going to say champs. Boom. And maybe instead of class of, I'm giving y'all some more ideas here. Oh, my apologies. I'm going to duplicate the class of here. And then I'm going to make it say state champs, S-T-A-T-E. Take the word champs. I got to squish it down a little bit. And I'm holding down shift while I'm squishing it so it stays the same width. And then I'm just going to pull it down a little bit more in size there. Take my word state and inch it up just a little bit here. And I'm going to hold down shift as I drag out the side there. And there we have it. So you can change out the colors. It already has colors pre-selected for you based on the smart colors, but if you wanted the first name to be purple and the last name to be gold, you can come and change these. You also have an option to change this independently. However, if you stick with these smart colors, you'll be able to flip these in 5 minutes or less, just like we did just now, especially if you're doing a whole bunch of the same stuff. Seniors, you have basketball season, football season, band season, whatever you can think of. You can take these elements and create in less than 5 minutes an alternate version of this design. So that's all, folks. I hope you all have fun in class today, and I cannot wait to see what you create. I appreciate you. I love you dearly. And until next time, bye.